Hey guys, this is Gigi here. I had a request on the Discord server to tell you guys how I actually put my videos together. I use kind of a mix of things. I don't really have a background in video editing. My background is more in graphic design, but it kind of translates over and I'll show you how. So what I start out with first is the idea for the video. So you can see I have like all of my lists here with all of my stuff that I can choose from. I then would move on to scripting, and scripting can be kind of different for me because I do a lot of ad lib. So sometimes it just looks like this, where it's kind of like a couple sentences describing the sort of mood for the character that I want to have. Or in the instance of the Delta videos with the medical android, there was a lot of terminology and stuff that I wanted to make sure that I got right. So I made sure to script out everything, made sure it was all spelled correctly. I put in the little noises that I want and all that kind of thing. And I have all of these notepad documents saved in like a little scripting folder that I keep on my other monitor on my desktop, so I can kind of look at it at a moment's notice and add stuff when I think of things. So next step after that, of course, is recording, and this is kind of where stuff gets a little janky for me. I have never used Audacity ever. I actually just use the voice recorder. That comes stock standard with Windows 10. And as you can see, I've got a bunch of different recordings here. Don't pay attention to the names. The names are honestly just so that I can remember what's in them. But as you can see, I've got like crying. I don't remember what these were because they're not named, but we won't pay attention to them. But yeah, we've got a lot of different stuff, all that kind of stuff going through. And then these, they're all saved to like a folder in my documents that I can open from here. And I can rename them from there. I can bring them into other places, all that good stuff. So once I have the actual thing recorded, I will pop over into Adobe Premiere. Now you're like, oh gosh, Gigi, what are you doing? You have a small channel. Why do you pay for Adobe Premiere? So like I said, I have a background in graphic design. I have been paying for the Adobe suite of products probably for about 6 years. I want to say I subscribed when they first launched CC, and it's been continuous since then. So not only do I get access to like Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign, which I do use sometimes, I also have stuff like Audition, and I have Adobe Premiere, and I've kind of been teaching myself how to use Adobe Premiere. So this is one of the projects that I have already put out. This was the cover that I put out the other day. And similar to all of the audios, I've got all of the resources over here on the left-hand side. And then you can hit import somewhere. Hold on. You can hit import, and you can choose which ones that you want to bring in. And you can bring in audio files, you can bring in video files, you can bring in images, all that kind of stuff. Most of the time for me, it's just audio and images. Then I would drag and drop it over here. And this is kind of like the actual project workspace right here. And so you can see I've got all of these different audio channels running. And these are all the different layers of the cover that I had put out. If you click on these, you'll see that I have some different effects layered onto these. I don't tend to use a whole lot. Most of the time, it's just this denoise or the vocal enhancer. I like that the vocal enhancer will bass boost a little bit, and the denoise just takes the noise of my computer fan off, because I do record at my desk, and so that's kind of present in all of the recordings unless I take it out. surround reverb on this one. I honestly, when I use reverb, I only use a mix of just like a little bit, unless I want something to be real spooky. And the way that I get these effects is I go from this editing tab, I go over to the effects tab, and it will have it under audio effects and stuff like that I can add to it. For visuals, you can see in the timeline, I've got stuff layered over itself. This is kind of a bad example of how I make my thumbnails, but I will, like, let's say I will add a rectangle, and I'll be like, okay, I want it to be this long, like that. And the best way to edit these is in the graphics tab, of course. I want it to look like that, and I want it to be a little bit see-through, and I want it to be centered. So I'm going to center it, and then I can change all the colors and stuff from here, and it kind of looks neat and stuff like that. So yeah. After that, it's a pretty simple process of just exporting it. One of the biggest things that I struggled with was trying to figure out how to set the aspect ratio correctly, because I upload all of my videos in 1080p on YouTube. I don't really think there's a need to go to 420, especially because, not 420, 4000, just because I don't really have moving graphics. I just have static images for the most part. So there's no point in that. But it is 6:9 is what I usually upload in. And the best way for me to show you how to do that, because I struggled with it a lot, you'll want to highlight all of your images that you have going, your videos, whatever you have in this top panel here. And you'll go into sequence. And you will want to, let's see, where did it go? Sequence settings. And from here you can kind of set where your settings are at. So you can see I have 4000 by 2250, and that's a 16:9 aspect ratio. I keep all the rest of the settings pretty basic. Again, I'm teaching myself, so I don't like to mess with it too much. As long as it works, I don't touch it. And then final step would be exporting. Once I have it set to the correct aspect ratio, I export media. It brings up our lovely little media encoder window. From here, you want to keep it at H.264, which is the standard video exportation format for YouTube. Premiere is pretty nice because it will automatically kind of adjust stuff for where you're planning on uploading it. So if I wanted to upload it into Twitter, I could hit the Twitter option, which I think is just the same as the YouTube Full HD option. Or I think there's like an Instagram one somewhere. But it will, let's say if I wanted to do a Vimeo wide shot, or like, yeah, see, it would adjust the quality down and everything, and the aspect ratio. So it'll do it for you to an extent, as long as you pick the right options. Output name, of course, is what it gets named to and where it goes to. I have all of mine get dropped into my video folder. I have not had to clear this out yet being the key word. Luckily, audios, because again, they don't have moving parts, are a little bit smaller than normal videos, so I won't have to worry about that as often. You can also exclusively export audio if that's what you want to do. I don't know that there's many platforms that will accept just audio files, but if you're just posting something to like SoundCloud or something else, this would be the way to do it. And yeah, and then you hit export, and that is kind of how I create all of my videos. If you have any questions, just leave them for me in the comments. Other than that, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good day.